Welcome to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself, Rhulani Baloyi. Welcome back to all our viewers. Those of you who have been following us in the year 2022, would like to say thank you so much. We trust that you had a great and a blessed festive season. You had a wonderful time as you went to rest together, spending time with family members, our loved ones, and even taking time to yourself, prudent women, just to reflect back. I would like to believe we are all refreshed. I would like to welcome even those of you who are joining us for the first time this year. You've never been with us. I would like to say to you, this is the show to be if you are a woman and even all other people who join us as we become prudent. In this show, we have great and wonderful people who join us, professionals, to come and give us awareness. Basically, because the 1 hour is not enough, but they bring in awareness for us on different levels of life, on different spheres, so that we can become prudent, we can be intentional about our lives, so that we can have an impact either on in our family members, either in the workplace, in business, anything about life. So this is the show where we talk on all areas that affect us as a human being in totality. I would like to say, even in the year 2023, we continue as Bold Moves Radio to bring you prudent women, to bring along different professionals, talking on different topics. Anything that you want us to talk about, you are also welcome. You can join us on our Bold Moves Radio Facebook page and the YouTube pages. You can drop down your comment during the show, interact with us, even with our professionals. You are welcome to ask questions, and also you can engage with us on 081 358 8745 for all of you who are joining us through Bold Moves Radio online. And even afterwards, when you have things that you want to talk to us about, you are welcome. Drop us a WhatsApp on that number. And even if you want to be part of this show, because this show we are saying, let us grow together, let us come together and impact lives by sharing the knowledge that we have, because each one of us, we have been called in a different sector, and we've got something that we can give to the next person so that we change their lives, so that we can better their lives, so that they can become better people. And as we do so, we impact our nation and we become a better nation. So I would like to say welcome. Tonight is our first show in the year 2023, and we would like to say we thank the Lord, for it is Him who has made us to enter in this world, in this year. And we believe going forward, He's got something for us. Thank you. You are all welcome. Tonight, I'm not alone. As I have indicated, we've got professionals who join us. Tonight, I have with me here on studio, Teacher Carol. We call her Teacher Carol, and I know even parents who have got children who have passed through her hands. She's a teacher in the education sector, but she's also a teacher in the ministry, in church, because she teaches the the children's ministry. So we are blessed this evening to have Teacher Carol joining us. And of course, we have our dietitian, Sesi Mandla. Sesi Mandla is our resident dietitian under Prudent Woman. She is here with us for this show. And talk about going back to school, talk about those things that are very important, that will assist us. If we get to know about them as parents, as elders in society, we can impact the outcome of our children. Because you'll agree with me, today on Sunday, we as a nation, we are looking forward to Friday, the 20th, because that is the time which the minister has said the matric results are coming out, and that becomes our main focus. But we forget one thing: it all started at grade R. It all started at children's ministry in churches, and the foundation that is laid down there is very important for the outcome that we shall receive come Friday, for the outcome that we are receiving when our children graduate from higher institutions of learning, when they go to start working. So tonight we have our Teacher Carol, just to come and help us, mainly for the primary level and even high school, on how now we get ready, on how now what should be our behavior throughout the year in making sure that we have an impact and we become a solution to assist the teachers, because learning cannot take place in the school level only, but it should also take place at home. And of course, nutrition plays a very important role. That's why we have with us SS Mandla, our resident dietitian. So those are the two things that we're going to be talking about. I believe you are excited, because I am excited. I'm going to be learning today, even though some of my children have already passed through a high school, but I know I can become a granny very soon, and I should be knowledgeable on these things to be able to teach my grandchildren, and even for a next door neighbor, on how to impact other people when it comes to schooling. So, Teacher Carol, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Even last year, 2 shows just before we closed our sessions, we were with her, and we'd like to appreciate you so much, Teacher Carol. But just to bring you in, Teacher Carol, when we talk about going back to school, as parents, there are different things that we expect. Most of us, remember in our talk before we closed, it was about, oh, school is closing, what's going to happen, what am I going to do with my 8, 10-year-old? Some of us as parents were already thinking, I have to go and load the fridge with food,
Yes.
because we don't know how to handle them. But now we are taking them back to school. So as parents, we are too excited. At least I'm shifting the responsibility to you. But I would like to believe, as teachers, as educators, you take this responsibility very serious, and you've got expectations. So, Teacher Carol, if you can tell us, what are basically your expectations when it comes to, mostly let's focus on that one who's studying a new grade in this year.
Thank you. I will say greeting to our host, Sis Rhulani, and viewers at home. I greet you all. I hope you are all excited, as Sis Rhulani has already said, that the year has started and our bundle of joys have now returned to school. I know you love them so much. You even have a name for them, that they are your bundle of joys. And of course, they are our bundle of joys. Back to school. As we're starting the year, I will just go to the first day of school as our expectations, if you allow me to start there, as our first day of school, because now all the excitement comes with nervousness. On
Yes.
that first day, the children are very, very nervous, and they can't wait to go to school. But on the other hand, they are very nervous.
Mm.
So, as a teacher, parents, I will really, really say that it is just a good thing to say on that first day of school. Please, please don't leave the child to just, even if you know that you are not going to be able to drop the child at school every day, it will be better, or I will say it is advisable
Mm.
to go with the child, make the child feel much better
Yes.
on that first day of school. Go with the child to the class. Some of the schools have got an opportunity to meet the teacher beforehand. They call it an open day or meet and greet with the teacher. So
Mm.
you already know where you are taking the child to. So
Mm.
you can take the child, drop the child to, don't just drop the child at the gate and leave them. I know that some of us, we are also going to work, but parents, you will bear with me that really to put the child in a taxi and the child is being dropped off at the gate and the child must just walk and be on their own. I just feel it's very, very cruel,
And
a
it's the
little
first
bit.
encounter, and we always say is the first impression lasts. And
Mm.
I can just imagine, Teacher Carol, you are very right, because even you as an adult, when you start a new job,
Job, yes.
if the HR department just says, come in, and then you'll see to finish. No
Yes.
one takes you to the office. You may have the worst,
The worst day of your life.
and it may impact for the rest of your life in that organization.
And you will never forget that day, because to
Yes.
you it will stay that, you know what, on my first day,
Phew.
although they were, like I said, some of them had the opportunity to visit the school, to see the class, but they are still nervous. They are overwhelmed by the situation. So it will be better just to go meet the teacher, greet, and at least when you see that the child is settled. Nowadays, the children no longer cry because they have got an opportunity. They go to grade R, so they are used to school situation, but it is a new school
It's a
for
new
them.
school.
It's no longer the grade R that. So I'll basically say on that first day, please, parents, that is what I will say from the teachers we are expecting to us. We're
You are
expecting
expecting your
you
us as parents
you
to
as
do.
parents to do from home. And again, education or learning does not start on that day when they come to school. I'm sure that you will know that you now, like Sister Rhulani said, you are very excited now that they're going back to school. And I think, let us not shift the responsibilities.
Yes.
It is still your child. So if the child is going to school, you still have some responsibility as a parent, things that you need to do. Learning should be at school, it should be the continuation of learning. The journey has already started at home, because the teachers are there to start on the academic journey, but there are a lot of things that should have been done
I have
at
already
back
told
home.
the child.
At home.
You know, Teacher Carol, maybe we'll come back to that as we talk on the importance of this meet and greets. Most of us will be called in for a lot of meetings, I know,
Yes.
as the year started, and we tend not to understand. But today I understand what is it that you expect from us to say. You expect us to hand over our children
Yes.
and make them to be able to gel in the new environment where we are taking them in. And
Yes.
it's through our assistance. But our listeners and our viewers, I would like us to take an ad break. We'll be right back with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Thank you so much. Welcome back on Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman. Of course, we are on season 2, and I would like to advise all of you who have been with us and those who are joining us for the first time that please take note. This is not only for today, but going forward, we have changed the time slot. We have listened to our viewers as you brought in a lot of issues that are happening at the time slot where we were before, because we were streaming at 6 o'clock. But this year, 2023, we are on a new time slot. It's from 4 o'clock until 5 o'clock. So every Sunday we'll be with you. The show tonight, we are on back to school. For the rest of January, we'll be on back to school on different levels. But tonight we have with us Teacher Carol and Sesi Mandla, our dietitian, talking on the expectations of the teacher on how we bring in our children as they start school. Either they're starting a new grade or they're starting a new school. And even the high school ones, Teacher Carol, I would like to believe what you were talking about before we went on an ad break affects even those who are going to high school. And that's where, when you do not have confidence, sometimes that's where you end up thinking you are being bullied. Yeah, because we did not play our role. So before we bring in our dietitian assessment, I would like you to finish your expectations in terms of from us as parents as we come to the new school? You spoke about the meet and greet, the children's evenings. Maybe if you can just highlight to us in few seconds, what are the benefits? What is it that you expect from parents as we come, and why are they so important?
Thank you, Sis Rhulani. The meet and greet, parents, you will understand that you need to be involved in this is the journey that your child is undertaking, and it's good that you are involved so that you know what your child is doing at school. I will start by, like I said, go and greet the teacher. It will be very wrong for the parent not to even know the teacher who's teaching your child. And that person has your child for 7 hours in a week and in a day. I'm sorry,
Yes.
not a week, but in a day. So they are like co-parenting. Teachers are
Yes.
co-parenting. If we can go and count the hours, if the teachers have them for 7 hours, you only have come back. Most of us, we come back to work, from work maybe 5 o'clock, and you only have 2 hours with your child, and because your kids will have to sleep around 7 o'clock. So you can see that it needs a balance. So that's why I'm saying it will be very wrong for you not to know the child, not to know the teacher, not to know who. It's a relationship that we need to build. So that meet and greet, it's this beginning of the relationship that we need to build. Because both of us, we need to help this. I will always say that the children are like papers, nothing is written on them, and we have to put what we put there, it's what they are going to have. Teachers in that meeting, they give important information. The progress of the child is given there on that on that day. Gone are those days that we just send the children to school. We say, no, teachers are paid to do the job. They must just do their job, and we sit back and relax.
Yes.
And we do nothing. So in there, the teachers will help you to get to know your child. From what they are expecting you to do at home, they are actually helping you to know your child. Because I will say children at school, they are different and they learn differently.
Yes.
So that meet and greet, actually they are going to tell you about the expectations, their school program, what is going to be happening at school. They are giving you if I will call it a year plan. What is going to be, where do they need you to be involved? How can you be involved in your child's life? Because it is very, very important for a parent to know and to be involved. Like for school readiness, as a parent, as you are taking the child to school, it is part of the parents' responsibility to get them ready to school. I will give an example of whatever, like setting routines.
Yes.
When they get to school, they are expected now to be in certain routines. And if at home the child does not have any routine at all, you will see that it will be very, very difficult for the child now to adjust. All of a sudden, now I must listen. While at home, I do as I please.
Yes.
There's an adult at home, I don't listen to the adult at home. So they start to understand, to wonder, what is different with this adult here? Because now I must give my attention to, and you will bear with me that learning will never happen if the child does not. So it starts right there. Assist your child for school readiness and don't do everything for them. I know they are our bundle of joys. Some of them, they are their first child or maybe the only child. You find that we tend to overdo everything for them. And when they get to school, they are overwhelmed. I'm now speaking more of the little ones, the younger ones, the foundation phase or the grade ones. If you do everything for them, you are denying that the chance to be independent.
Yeah.
And when they get to school, they are all by themselves. tying simple things like tying shoelaces. It's an activity that the child must do.
On their
In fact,
own.
they are solving a problem. To them, those shoelaces are a
A
problem,
problem.
and they need to do it, and they need to do it until they figure it out. How best can I do it? But if we tend to do it for themselves, because now they are so like they will break.
Yes.
I always
And
give
so
an
that's why
example.
sometimes they cry.
Yes.
I start to understand.
Mm.
That's why they cry. You find that a child at school throughout they've been crying
Mm.
because we waited for learning to start when we take them to school, and we understand what you are saying. But I also get something from what you were saying in terms of consultative meetings. Um, how can two work together unless they agree?
Yes.
And if we took it with an understanding that the learning of our children is our responsibility, we will also want to agree with those whom we have entrusted with co-parenting with us. And if I do not attend the meetings, it means that there's no agreement. And why am I surprised when the 20th on Friday it happens that this one did not make it?
Yes.
You see, prudent women. That's why we keep on saying we must be intentional about these things. And as prudent women, we must know these things so that we can do things differently. Uh, gone are the days. I would like to believe back then, when you talk my parents, my mom did not see a need to stay with me when I'm going to school. She left me with my grandmother. But beyond seeing it, it was even the situation was not allowing. But you can just imagine. The grandmother did not see any role. So, and nowadays, ko sekolong ba tshwenya, Teacher Carol, we always say lena la tshwenya because you, instead of doing the work, you even hear a parent when we're at work and we're frustrated, you hear me saying, I've paid a lot of money for school fees and now I must do their work. We think it's your work, and it's unfortunate. And tonight, I would like to believe all those who are listening to us, you see, it is not their work alone, it's a partnership. There's a primary parent and a co-parent. That's why we used to have one who was saying, one authority who was saying, I'm a deputy mother.
Yes.
And you will understand it in that way. Teacher Carol, I see the ladies are talking here. And someone was asking, how long does it take to a child to adjust to a new environment, and how can one help? But before you tackle that one, I would want us to engage Sesmandla. Sesmandla, she had a bit of challenge, is the era, the issue in the country. It has happened to her at 4:00, but I would like to believe you are here with us. Sesmandla, can you hear us?
Hello, Ceci, and compliments of the new year. I can hear you.
Thank you so much that you could join in. Yes, we've been talking to our teacher, our educator, Teacher Carol. She has been telling us of their expectations as teachers. Can you, as a dietitian, I know the ladies here who have been following us, they know you, our resident dietitian, with a slogan, you must eat to live, not live to eat. But now, today we're talking on the importance of diet for our children. And I would like you to say in just 2 minutes, Sis Mandla, what will be your expectation when we talk going back to school for our children, when we talk nutrition?
Okay, thank you, Ceci. And yes, again, in 2023, I'm hoping all our prudent women will still keep with that slogan that now we are eating so that we can live and not just living to eat. So, on that note, going back to school, I like the statement that you said when you're opening, when you said that it all starts in grade R. It actually starts in the first 1,000 days of life. That's when a mother is pregnant. Whatever you eat, that is the type of child that you're going to have. So, nutrition is very critical. Now, when the child is going to school, your focus or the goal there is to make sure that the child has got enough energy or enough nutrients in them to allow them to focus on school and to grow both physically and socially and cognitively, which is what they teach them at school. So that is the primary role. And in a nutshell, Ceci, like I'm always saying, if we can go back to basics, we have our four very trusted food groups that I'm always talking about. We have carbohydrates for energy. We have protein to repair our muscles and muscle growth. We have vitamins and minerals for our all other cellular functions that the body has to go through, including brain growth. And we have our fats and oils, and we have water as a roundup, as a mixer of all those four groups. So, same applies to a child, more especially at that age, because you know how it is. It doesn't end wrong, but it starts wrong. So we need to start right there. So, my message to all the prudent women and anyone who's listening to us today is that let's go back to the basics. Let's look at the four groups. Whatever lunch box you're going to send to school, make sure all the four groups are represented there. So that is my opening thoughts, Ceci. Let's make it simple.
So it's back to basics. And I love it when you keep on saying we must go back to the basics, you know. It's just that as humankind, it's just in our nature. We tend to talk of these things and not practice them. Because if you look at our basics, how we were raised, we had all the different nutrients in what we're getting. But unfortunately, globalization came in and tell us that for you to be better, when you have money, you can buy 1, 2, 3, and 4, and only to find that you are buying a dosage of one nutrient, as you say, instead of getting a balanced nutrient. And thank you, Sesimandla. We will be right back with you. Let us go on an ad break. Welcome back to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you are welcome to converse with us by dropping in your comments on the comments section. Those of you who are listening to us via Bold Moves Radio online, you can drop your comments on 081 358 8745 on WhatsApp. Thank you very much. The show is Prudent Woman. Tonight we have with us our guests, Teacher Carol. Oh, Teacher Carol, I even forget to say, who are you? She's so much of a teacher for the rest of her life. She has been a teacher. And you know, we forget it's a name now, it's a brain name. So it's Carol Shilubani, aka Teacher Carol. Okay, and then we have with us Sesmandla Mabunda. She's our resident dietitian. We are talking on back to school. For us to also have awareness on, Teacher Carol, it's once I've brought in my child, either at that lower grade or high school, there's something they call extramural activities in schools. And most of us, I will say, no, don't do extramural activities. When are you going to get time to study? Because my goal is on the 20th of January, the time they receive their matric. But now, prudent women, we are understanding that this learning experience, it's a journey. What will you like to say around mural activities? What is their importance?
Thank you, Sis Rhulani. You are forgiven. You can call me Teacher Carol. I think even myself,
Yeah.
I even forget my own name. I'm just simple Teacher Carol. Extramural activities. It is proven that the learners who do well in sports, they do well academically.
Okay.
Because I'll just go back a little bit to what Sis Mandla said earlier about the diet. The diet goes to in class or sports or I will say at school. We need the learners to concentrate. And what they eat can make them either to concentrate or not to concentrate. So if we do not watch what they eat, and then maybe we just give them money. If we're not controlling what they are eating, we're not checking those lunch boxes. It's a good thing to have money, but I will say it's bad to just push money to the learners because you are not controlling what they are eating. So with the extramural activities, there are skills that will only be solved by doing extramural activities. We don't have that specific period to teach it. But for example, teamwork, problem solving. As they do sports has a way of addressing the learning barriers or the learning difficulties. Because as they do sports, they are conquering all that.
Yeah.
There's coordination that they are developing. And you will agree with me, parents, it is even put by the Department of Education. We have an LO period. That shows how important it is. In school and in our timetable, we have that specific time to engage in physical education. Because I will elaborate, like they've got the gross motto, the big muscles must develop. As they do sports day, like I said, you cannot go to class and say, today I'm now going to focus on help you, give you the skill of how to solve problems.
It's
But
not there.
it's not there. It's not there. But as they do sports, they are developing it. If they play with a ball, for example, it's eye-hand coordination. So the eye and the hand must communicate. Or, for example, the little ones, we do skipping. Basically, like when we start with the school readiness program, there are a lot of activities that we focus on. We call them perceptual skills.
Okay.
It is readiness, maybe readiness to reading, for example, skipping in a lower grade, grade 1. They are forced to skip. I know boys don't like it because
I
they
also
don't.
did not understand it. I had a grade 1 and she struggled with skipping and I even gave up. I said, but what is the benefit of this? So today I know.
It is, to answer your questions, Rhulani, it is readiness to reading.
Okay.
Because it is eye-hand coordination. There must be a coordination between in the child.
Yes.
The hands must now push the rope around, and the message must go to the feet that you must now jump. And that's why you find them pushing the rope and they trip and they want to fall. And you can see that without that coordination, it's like and when they do that, they are overcoming that and they are getting that skill. So it is eye-hand coordination. For example, direction.
Okay.
Left to right. They do that in sports. And when they go and read, when we read, we read from left to right. Otherwise,
Carol.
otherwise, if we don't try and exercise those, your eyes must be exercised for to come and read, because some of the learning barriers, you will think it's the child is struggling, but the child
because
of other things that are not. So these developments at the stages, the perceptual skills, crawling, in Tsonga, Amtsonga, they will say, if you do something that you are not thinking, they will say, Aukasang. And indeed, if a child who did not crawl, if all the kids who skip that milestone, it's a milestone that the child must do in order to come, and they use it in class. So these are the skills that we need to do. And we all do that in extramural activities. And to go further with extramural activities, you will bear with me that the time it's not
adequate.
It's not adequate, it's not enough. We have like time, I will say, like swimming. Swimming, it's something that is good because it focuses on the whole body. Because some will focus maybe on the eye and hand, of eye and foot, but the swimming, it does like everything. So that's why it's very, very important that when the child goes to school, you even choose some of the extramural activities for the child to do maybe after school. The problem here is back then we used to play. We used to climb trees. We used to go
so we
all
did not
out.
need
So
those
we
things.
really did not need that.
Because I was doing it without
you were doing
anyone
it
telling me that you must do 1, 2, 3.
So now they come back, we
sit on the
introduce
couch
things,
the whole
saying
day.
they are the clicking generation. They
Yes.
come, they sit, they click, everything. It's a button that they must press. And they don't jump. If I was to say, I know parents will not be happy with me, allow them to jump. Even if you don't have that trampoline to jump on, don't be surprised when they go to the bed and jump, because it has got
there's a need
there's
for
a
that.
need for that.
Thank
Because
you
we
so
do
much,
not
Teacher
play.
Carol. You've answered the question that I've always had. I've always believed, I'm not a sporty person and don't see a need for sports. And I could not understand to say, no, my desire is not to be a sport professional. Why should I do it? But tonight, I believe Prudent Women together, we have learned that these things are very important. Let us not allow our children to skip, because it's part of their development.
Yes.
And no wonder why it's part of the curriculum. You see, some of these things we see them, but we never understood. That's why the department puts in money for such things.
Yes.
And we have different units in government
Yes.
that are responsible. It's because those who are authorities or in that sector, they know and understand. But I know Sis Mandla is sitting there. I know this is a passion when we talk development, because she's one person who believes development also, it has got something to do with nutrition. So, says Mandla, having listened to Teacher Carol when she talks extramural activities and linking it with diet, what would you like to say in terms of diet, the type of food we give to our children going to school, and the impact that it has on their development? Says Mandla, can you hear us?
Thank you, Ceci. So there is no way we can remove. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you from my side. Hello, Ceci. Can you hear me? Hello, I can hear you.
Says Mandla, you can go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, I was saying there is no way you can remove physical activity from the nutrition or the diet that you're supposed to observe, all of us. So they work hand in hand. If nutrition is the engine, then physical activity becomes the fuel that propels the engine. So you cannot remove one from the other. So, and on that note, really, with a school going child, that is the main focus. When you are planning a balanced diet for a scholar or a learner or ngwanalaya ko xikolweni, our main focus really is on the type of nutrients that you're going to give them, such that they are able to focus at school. Not only focus on their learning, the class subject, but also learning on the social field, on the physical field, which is the extramural that we're talking about. So balanced eating nakuya xikolweni goes hand in hand with physical activity. Hello? Hello?
Because of the area where she is, they are currently having load shedding, but I would like to believe she'll be able to connect back with us. Yes, of course, tonight we continue on our back to school, even next week and the other week until we end the month of January, as we get ready and say, let us be intentional on the education of our children. Let us take an ad break.
Ke clean mo. That's what you want. I saw the little you want. So taking instruction from a woman, things will just flipped overnight. Today you're submissive. The following day on a authority over me. It won't work.
They drink too much. They're beating the woman. They kick the woman, and that's not right what they're doing.
I'm so disappointed about what is happening around the whole world. As a young man, I just wanted to just be exactly like you, but the way you do things, I've started to change my mind because you are busy beating our moms.
I realize that when I can talk when I'm angry, I'll never be able to reverse whatever I've said.
Whenever you feel like you're not heard, for me, the first thing that I do is to increase the volume. And increasing the volume is not always a clarity of expressing your emotions.
You are listening to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman. The host, it's myself, Rhulani Baloyi. Tonight I have with me our educator, Teacher Carol, and our dietitian, Sesimandla Mabunda. We are talking on back to school on how to get ready for our children and what is it that the educators expect from us and the dietitians when it comes to nutrition. We were talking on extramural activities, and of course, I would like to apologize. We are having a challenge with Sesimandla's connection because of load shedding, but of course, we thank you, Sesimandla, that you time and again get kicked out and try to come back for the benefit of our parents as we learn. Teacher Carol, we're talking on extramural activities, yes. And we understand now, yes, that it's beneficial for them to participate in extramural activities. But I'll just want to find out what will be adequate, because you do have that one child who wants to do all the sports, trying to find a way of not being in a classroom. And that's when us as parents, where we come in and think, no, you are now even invading what we thought is the primary purpose of them being at school.
Okay. I will say extramural activities, it goes hand in hand with their talents. Most of them will, like I said before, that mostly the one who does well in sports, they do well in sports. They are the ones who want to do everything because they just want to be there. They want to find themselves. But as they do that, they try this and that, they finally find their strength. And it's also linked to their talent. It will be even linked to what they can become. Because you will, as they grow their careers, you will see them in sports what they are very, very good at. I will advise that they will just have to, you just have to, as a parent, to advise that, you know what, at least take 2 or 2, because it goes back to time management. The learner must be able to balance. You must balance your academics, you must balance. So the time must be managed well. So that's where you come in as a parent and advise that if you are doing this, and then you can take this, and they can just choose from what they are very, very good at, because you'll find that whatever they are good at, a child who's good in maybe want to do chess as extramural activity will be basically your number child, because these children learns differently. There are children who we call them visual learners. We also have auditory learners. They will rather go to music. They learn by listening. So it's in a way. That's why already by as young as they are, we can see the career, where this child can be going. You can see the direction as a teacher that, okay, this one is going that road, this one is going that road. So it's just to manage their time and to help them choose in what they do best.
Oh, yeah. This session, it just shows me how important it is to be part of your child's education, because we'll be talking about it next week. But we tend to want to start asking our children when they are in grade 11 or 12, when we're about to make applications, what is it that you would like to do? And we have missed something there, because it is my responsibility as an observer to have observed and advised, because the child maybe will have blind spots, as a person, I may not know myself, but it's people whom I interact with who can give me a better reflection of myself. So we miss on the opportunity to be part of our children's lives and understand and be able to give them better assessment. And when that time comes, sometimes we give them an assessment based on salaries.
You go where the money is, and it's not all about money.
It's not about money.
They can be miserable, and if they're not fulfilled, they cannot be doing well. It doesn't help for a child to grow and go and do what they don't enjoy, what they don't like. If it will be difficult even for them to wake up and go and do that. Money, it's okay, but it's not all about money.
So you are actually saying to us, Teacher Carol, some of us, it's us who fail our children because we did not do our part. But that's a topic of another day. And we're not here on a blame gate. We are here to create awareness. I would like to believe all of you listening to what our professionals are telling us. We are repenting, as a person, every day when you interact with people, you must be able to repent, learn new things, and also have something to say, because when you interact, there are certain things that will impart on other people. And thank you so much. And the last one, this one is tough, when the school opens, when we go for those evenings, they will have written and say, no Simba chips in the class, no beggars, no cool drinks. And you're like, what am I going to give this child to go to school? Says Mandla, it becomes a challenge. And sometimes we defy them, because it's simpler for me to pass by some fast food restaurant at 8 o'clock when I knock off in my meeting and grab a burger and then put it in a scarf tin and rush and take the child the next day to school. What will be your advice? What type of food we are supposed to pack for these people's lunch boxes? And how do I make them to have interest to eat them? Can you hear Mrs. Mandla? we seem to have a challenge with Sis Mandla. She cannot hear us, but of course the conversation, you know, when we're in Prudent Woman, what is nice is we have a conversation for an hour, and ladies talk a lot, but the conversation continues on our Facebook page and YouTube. So you are welcome to drop down all those comments on our Facebook page, and also will request Mandla to just drop down a list of things that we can pack as we replace our fast food lunch boxes. I know it creates a problem for Teacher Carol. Probably she has something to say around it. Why is it that you tell us we should not give our children sweets to come to school? Because when they are home, we have been giving them sweets, beggars, and all these things. Why is it we should not?
Thank you. I'm sad that Sasmandla is not coming in, because she will really tell us exactly what it is, because there's something in those zimbas. When the children eat those zimbas, they can no longer sit still. They can no longer concentrate. And as much as I said that in class or at school, you need them to concentrate. And as teachers, we don't have the medication for concentration, but it boils down to food. It boils down to what they eat. You will see, if it is controlled, like they normally, most schools have that they only have like a tech shop once a week.
Yes.
And on that tech shop day, the sugar rush, after eating the sugar, I'm telling you, they are so jumpy. It's like there's something that is moving or shaking them. That's why I'm saying I'm sad that if Sasmandla can explain it, because I know in their field of work, they will know and understand what it is.
Teacher Carol, I think Sasmandla is back. Sasmandla, can you hear us? We wanted to put your brain on this one. Yeah, the ideas around what to put in a lunchbox and how can one make it enticing for them to eat.
Okay, thank you, sis. I might just have to switch off my video. Ngakusha Anjo, I think it's better the connection when my video is off, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
I think the goal should be that you decide what is it that you're trying to do with packing that. Going back to our statement, are we just wanting them to eat to address the issue of hunger, or we want to address the issue of nutrition so that they are able to focus better in class and have energy to do their physical activities? So it starts there. Once you make that decision as a parent, shiva easy to decide what items to put in the lunchbox yamana. It's easy to go quick route of going into a filling station after a long day at work and buy my chips and juice and nati cold drink. But is that going to serve the purpose? No, it is not. So my simple advice is that, like I said, let's make time for this thing. Day before, schedule time with your kid and decide on what you're going to have for them as far as their lunch is concerned. Remember, the objective, another thing, yeah, lunch, not the lunch breaks at school. It's for them to refuel and to recharge so that they can focus on class and have energy to also play, because these days we want them to learn through play. So that thing that you were saying, extramurals were not available. Yes, but we are slowly going back to those days now, because we know that kids learn better when they are playing it out instead of sitting behind a desk. So going back to what to pack, first things first, fruits should be there. Fruits and vegetables should be there, because that is the power pack of your nutrients that you need. Because what do they contain? Vitamins and minerals. For example, we're talking brain power, we're talking focusing. That requires iron, for example, that requires zinc, that requires folate. Those are the vitamins that you need to pack. Those things, you'll find them in fruits and vegetables. The fresher, the better. So one apple ya pfuna mi hoxa na ti-carrots, sliced carrots, you put them in your lunchbox. Actually, if parents can get those lunch boxes that are divided into 3, because
Okay.
then that channels even the types of portion sizes that you are going to put in there. So you are not going to have a very big bun, yeah, white bun that is not so healthy, but it's going to channel how you are going. So already it tells you the different food groups that need to be part of your lunchbox. If they are a bit older, baswikota ku ti endlela hi ti-cooler ta vona, they can use their standard coolers that you buy from any shop. But you need to keep in mind, in a lunchbox that is considered to be healthy, we need to have a starch product. What is that? Carbohydrates. We have good and bad carbohydrate. Whole wheat bread, those brown rolls with seeds on top, those give them good energy. I heard Ceci teacher Carol talking about the energy that makes them jump up and down. That is too much energy. That is just you free or radical energy that is not doing anything, and it has to go out. Kasi, if you give them wholesome whole wheat, those brown starches, that starch is able to go in there and give them the energy that they need for them to focus better. So you need to give them that, and then you need to pack them a bottle of water, because they need to refresh, they need to replenish. They get tired when they are focusing and when they are playing outside. So they need water so that they can refresh and go back to the playing ground or go back to class. So water has to form part of a healthy lunchbox. And then another thing, you can have snacks. I know in schools, different schools have got different breaks. Some have got the first break, labor about 30 minutes or so, and then the second one, about 15 minutes, depending on the schooling system. Or some it's vice versa. Basungla short break, we grew up with short break and long break. So during those times, what you pack should be able to cover. So during the short break, that's when they can have their fruit. They have their fruit, and mainly there is to interact and socialize with their peers. That's where they learn the social skills. And then they take a break from their schoolwork and go back. And on the lunch break, that's when the real refueling comes in. That's where we need to see 2 slices of brown bread. That is when we need to see a protein source, which could be maybe a slice of chicken, a piece of chicken from last night dinner that is shredded, and you can have your slice of tomato. You see, those things are easy to prepare. It's just that we do not take time for them. I'm not talking about things that people do not know, but the reason why they're not happening, we're not allocating enough time. So I'm sorry we were cut off. There were still a few things that I wanted to tell people. Now I'm checking the time. But yes.
Samantha, your line is giving us a lot of feedback and it's a bit challenging. We had promised our viewers and listeners that you'll drop the comments, the ideas on a lunchbox on the comment section. Now I think they can't hear you anymore. It's like it's running very fast. I don't know what's the challenge, but thank you so much. I would like to say thank you to our guests. Yes, the time is gone. You know, when you are in Prudent Woman, we just talk and the time is gone, and there's still a lot of things that we wanted to talk about. Yes, the conversation can continue on the comment section on our social network, uh, social accounts. That's Facebook and YouTube, Bold Moves Radio. And you can drop your WhatsApps on 081 358 8745. Teacher Carol would like to say thank you so much. We don't even have time for you to come back and say bye, but I'll give it back to you. And before I hand back to you, I would like to say thank you to our producers. We have Musa Mangani right here with us, and the floor manager is Rufuo Rahwale, and of course, Pastor Strike was here, our executive producer, to come and set up. And even as we get ready tonight, just for tonight, we have Minkonzo Yatingwazi at 6 o'clock. He's back right here on studio, and we'll be having our sister. He will be talking to our sister. Let us join and learn more on how other people have made it in life, because it's when you listen to other people's testimonies that you are able to see that indeed I can also make it if someone has made it. And thank you so much, Sesma. Mandla, I won't go back to you. I see you are still having your network challenges. Teacher Carol, maybe your parting shot in just 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Yes, I know you have a lot.
In closing, I will just say, parents, be involved. Be part of the journey of your child. For homework, be there, help your child. Even in preparing the lunch, be part of the. I always say children will remember what you have done for them, not what you've bought for them. So know that, like, I wanted to touch more on the homework part because I think that's where parents think that it's a form of punishment, and
Yes.
it's not a punishment. It's to revise what is taught in class.
Mm.
Homework will never be given of the work that is not done in class. It's
Okay.
to boost their confidence. It's your time as a parent to do one-on-one intervention and to assist the learner. You will agree with me. If you know something, you become confident and you want to do more.
And you want to show
and you
off.
want to show
So
off.
it's an opportunity
So-
for our children to show off to us as their
Yes,
parents.
yes. And
Mm.
also when they come back to class with that confidence, because now you had your time one-on-one. Remember at school, there are 40 in a class.
Mm.
The teacher did not have that time to go one-on-one. So when we say, please assist with the homework, a child who has got an absent parent is a lost child in class. But a child who has a parent that is assisting, they excel. And they have got so much confidence because they know of what they are doing. So from now on, take homework as an opportunity for you to help your child to achieve and reach the stars.
Thank you so much, Teacher Carol. We cannot have enough time to
Yeah.
get to know all these things that you are teaching us. But I trust that Prudent Women, we have learned today. I see a lot of comments. Ladies are saying they are so thankful, Teacher Carol and Sis Mandla, for the information that you have shared with them. And yes, of course, these are the people right in our church at Mana Tabernacle. You are welcome to converse with them, and as well as in our Bold Moves Radio Facebook pages and YouTube, you can converse with them. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. We are right back here on studio with Pastor Strike, 6 o'clock, Minkondo Yatingwas. Have a blessed week.